Welcome to class 4 of Core from the Base, and in this class we're going to be doing an introduction to our middle core. So previous class was upper core and the previous ones were the deep inner core. So we're in our outer core and we're going into the middle part of our core. So what you'll need for the class is maybe 1 or 2 pillows depending on your level, 2 if you need more support, and then there is a band, a mat and a wall close by. Go get your things and I'll see you now. Starting with the pre-assessment, I want you to be in a seated position with your feet about hip width apart. And in this position, I want you to go down to halfway and then come all the way back up. And see if you can do this motion. And then start to see if you can go a little bit deeper or lower and pull yourself back up. And then go all the way and lift. Don't let the shoulder blades touch the floor. And this is using your middle core. So if you feel it's very difficult to do now, don't worry, because we are going to tackle that in the class. So let's start by lying on our backs with a pillow underneath your head and activating into our deep inner core. Just a quick activation and then an intro or recap of our upper core. So activate into the pelvic floor. Make sure your TAs are active by pulling belly button to spine and then feeling the muscles push up into the fingers. Then place your hands onto your thighs and push the thighs into the hands just to get your psoas active there, keeping the pelvic floor active by pulling your sit bones together and squeezing up into your belly button. Then keep breathing here whilst everything is active into your diaphragm. So your diaphragm is the top of your core and you want to breathe in and out into the top of the diaphragm here. 3 more breaths, keeping pelvic floor active, TA active, and psoas active. 2 more. And last one. Place the hands behind the head. And then just keeping your elbows in the periphery, try and raise the chest off of the pillow without activating through your neck. So keeping your back of the head pushing into your hands and lifting through your upper core. Slowly bring it down and lift. Slowly down and lift. 7 more. Lift from your core, not from your neck. 5 more. Control the movement down. Don't relax at the bottom. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Take it back up, take the hands by the side and pulse the hands up and down. Keep looking up towards the ceiling and keep the ribs pulling down towards the hips. Make sure you're not feeling your neck being active. It can be slightly active, but you want to feel your upper core has more control. So just pull up a little bit further, lifting off of your shoulder blades. If it's difficult for you, that's okay. You can place the pillow a little bit further to your mid-back. This is all a starting point. So you can start with an easier option and you'll get better faster. Slowly bring your body all the way down, and then slowly come up. And we're going to start from the halfway point. You can have your hands by your knees, and you can have the pillow behind your back. Still going into the upper core here. So you're from the middle point, and then slowly lower and lift. Slowly lower and lift. 3 more. Lift. 2. Lift. And 1. Lift. So that's just a recap, getting our deep inner core active, our upper core active. Now we're going to start with our mid core. So grab 2 pillows so that they are behind your back, and if you don't have 2 pillows, you can just double up the pillow that you have. And in this position, you're going to lie just on to the top of the pillow and see how we're not in on our shoulder blades low. We're lifting up and pulling the belly button to the spine here. So in this position, I want you to have your hands behind your head, and you're going to just lift one toe up and then the other. So we're just activating, trying to not put a lot of pressure onto the pillow, but just moving the legs up and down, not using the neck, but activating into your middle core. Keep active here, one leg at a time, lifting off. Three more. 2 and 1. Relax the feet down, and then relax your head all the way back over the pillow. And then keep your ribs active, pull them down towards the hips, and then lift all the way back up, feeling that activity from the upper going down into your mid-core. So if you feel like the pillows are too soft and going down, get another pillow so that you are lifted up as high as so that you can feel your mid-core. And then take the hands behind the head, keep active into your mid-core, and then you're going to lift both legs off and down, not moving your pelvis, keeping your sacrum down into the ground. Keep lifting, pulling the knees in and down. Keep going. 5 more. Pull the knees in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in. And then place the feet down. Slowly let go, getting the head all the way over the pillows. And try and feel that stretch in the upper and going slightly into your mid-core here. Coming back again, so lifting up, making sure that you're not on your shoulder blades, but you're lifting up that little bit higher, and you have your pillows there to support you. Take the hands behind the head and alternate between the legs. See if you can switch in the air. Keep lifting through your middle core. All the activation comes from here. So if you're doing a movement and you're not feeling it in your middle core, make sure that you just regress the movement and make sure you're feeling it in your middle core, not anywhere else, not in the neck especially. Keep going. And then take both feet down and lift both knees. Keep lifting the chest up and pull the knees all the way into the chest. Don't let the pelvis move too much. Keep your pelvic floor active. Hip flexors are active. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in. And then place the feet down one at a time, hands behind the head, open all the way up. And reaching the head over the pillow here. And then from there, activating through your ribs and lifting to your mid-core, trying to lift off of the pillows. And then take it all the way down, not opening up your rib cage, keeping them pulling down towards the hips, and lift. 2. Down, lift. 3. Down, lift. 4. Keeping the contraction as you go down. 5. Making sure you're not using your neck. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. 10. Hug the knees into the chest and then slowly come up. Now, you can keep this option of having the pillows behind your back. Or if you want, you can have your pillow away and leaning on your elbows. So you're going to take the elbows underneath your shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest up. And then in this position, we're lifting the knees in and then dropping them, the toes to touch. Lift the knees in and toes to touch. Core engaged, belly button to spine, pelvic floor active. 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't let your pelvis move all the way over. You want to keep it stable as you lower the legs. 7, 8, 9, 10. Hug the knees in, or keep them really close to your chest, and you're going to take the left leg out straight. If it's difficult for you, you can keep it bent, and you just do a smaller movement here. So it's like a bicycle motion, but lift the chest up towards the sky and do it nice and slowly, pushing the legs out and keeping your belly button pulled to the spine. Keep going. We're moving from the lower part of your mid-core into the mid-core. Where at the beginning, we're going from the upper part of the mid-core to the mid-core. Bring the knees in and lower them down. If you need a break, take a rest where you need. Make sure you're feeling it in that middle core, that middle section. Control the movement and don't let go of the contraction. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, lift the chest, and 1. Keep the knees hugged in, and you know what we're doing. You can either just do a small movement to keep the middle core active, or you can straighten the leg out that little bit further to make it that little bit harder. Make sure your chest is lifted as high as you can. Belly button to spine. Lift the chest. 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees in. Roll all the way down. And then come up into your seated position. In this position, you're going to take your hands behind your back. You can have your fingertips facing the sides, squeeze your shoulder blades together, keep your chest lifted to the sky, but also pull the ribs down towards the hips. So you don't want to be pulling the ribs down and then your shoulders roll forward. You want to keep the ribs pulled down and the shoulders pulling back. And then in this position, come onto your tippy toes and try and lift one leg off at a time. If this is difficult for you, just try and lift the heels off of the floor and then just try lift the tippy toes after that. So just lifting the knee up as high as you can, pulling it into the chest. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the feet down and then push your hands into your knees and the knees into your hands. So you're getting that resistance between the both. Keep pushing and you'll feel your middle core become active. Keep pushing for another 15 seconds. Don't round into your back, keep the chest lifted, but you have to keep your lower core and mid core active. Keep pushing the hands into the knees, knees into the hands. Very good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the hands down, fingertips facing towards the side, squeeze shoulder blades and see if you can lift both legs up at the same time. If it's too difficult and you feel it in your hip flexors, that you aren't getting your middle core active, so then just switch between the two. Trying to pull the knee in by using your middle core. So you activate into the middle core, then the leg comes up. Activate to the middle core, leg comes up. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place the hands onto your knees and then try and keep your core active as much as possible. Keep pushing the hands into the knees and the knees into the hands. Holding it here. Another 20 seconds. Belly button to spine, don't round into your back. Keep the chest lifted and belly button to spine. Push, push, push. 10. 5 seconds. And relax. Hug the knees in. And now we're going to try with going down, but you can use a band or a towel, or you can use your hands, so it depends on your level. But if you have a band, you can place it behind the knees and then you just hold it in either hands. And then in this position, you're going to keep your feet on the ground and tuck in your tailbone, try roll down and lift. You can bring your pillow underneath your sacrum, which is just maybe half or the width of your hand away from your sacrum. And then you're just going to roll to here and lift up. So it's like what we did in course 4, where we did all our dissociation of movements, but now we're getting active into our muscles, not just the spine. 6 more. 5. If you want to not use the band, take your hands behind the knees and you can lift from there. 3 more. 2 and 1. Now if you want to take the pillow just a little bit further away, that would be great. If you're still using the band, that's also good. Or you can just use your hands instead of behind the knees. Now we're taking them to the side of the knees. just for an option to go further. And then we're coming down just to touch and lift. Coming down to halfway, touching the pillow and lifting. 3, 4, keep the core active. 5, 6, 7, reach the chest up. 8, 9, and 10. Now taking the pillow all the way back so that you're not going to touch it, or if you want to keep it there, you can. And then in this exercise, we're going to take the hands by the sides of the knees and try not to touch the knees. So you're going to go down all the way to touch and lift. Just getting to your mid-back and lift. Keep your heels planted on the ground and lift. Good. 4, 5. Don't lose the contraction. 6. Keep your deep inner core active, pelvic floor active. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that is one of the hardest ones. If you want to take the pillow away completely and try it like that, then if you want to even try it with your feet off of the floor, you can try that one. So just going into the post-assessment, going all the way down and lifting up and seeing how different it is from the first time. And then if you want to just take it that step further, keep the feet lifted. Roll down and roll back up so that you're getting your middle core active as you do this. Not using your legs for momentum, but using that deep inner core and your mid core to do the movement. 3 more. 2 and 1. Well done for doing our middle core. And now we're going to just go into a full body mobility. So come into an all fours position. You can have your pillow underneath your knees if your knees are sensitive. And then I want you to take or tuck your toes and come into a downward facing dog. Reach the right hand to the left ankle and twist the body open as much as you can. And then take it down and switch to the other side, twisting the body open. And twist to the opposite side. Last one, twist. And then take the hands down, come into a plank position and move the right leg all the way under the left and drop the hip down to touch the floor and lift it up. 1, 2, slow and controlled. 3, 4, and 5. Bring the hips all the way down. Your leg is nice and straight, and you're rotating your left hip around the right. Taking the left hand underneath the right elbow and trying to twist the body open here. If you're able to bring the shoulder down towards the floor, that's even better. Just moving in and out of this twisting position. 3, 2, and 1. Place the hands onto the floor, tuck the back toes, bring the right leg back into your plank, and move the left leg over to the side. Drop the hip down to touch and lift. down to touch, and lift. 3 more. 2 and 1. Bring the hip all the way down to the floor, rotating the right hip over the left, keeping the left foot flexed and nice and straight, and then reaching the right arm underneath the left hand, and then trying to move that elbow and eventually your shoulder down to the floor. Deep breaths. Keep twisting. Three more. 2 and 1. Try get that little bit further, and then bring the right hand next to the left. Tuck the back toes, come into a downward facing dog. And then bring your right leg all the way forward into a pigeon pose, making sure that your foot is up, so you can hold your hand onto your foot and you have a 90-degree angle at your knee. Then when you're there, make sure that you're rotating your left hip around so that it wants to touch your right foot. And then from there, if you need a pillow underneath the glute just to make it more comfortable, you can, or you can move it out and then move from side to side here. Just stretching into the glutes, the piriformis, side to side. And then bringing the elbows down onto the floor and moving from side to side here, if it's available to you. Remember, pigeon is very difficult. If you are able to do it, you are very lucky that you're not going to get any spasms into the glutes. But it's also good to have strength of the glutes. So you can't just have them all flexible all the time, you have to activate them too. Move from side to side. And then place the hands onto the floor and come into 5 pigeon push-ups, touching your forehead to the ground and lifting up. And you're going to feel the stretch move from different areas of the glutes. 2 more. Last one. Come up onto the hands, tuck the back toes, and then move into pigeon with the left leg. So taking the foot all the way up to the right hand, then slowly dropping the knee down, rotating the right hip around this area here, and then trying to get comfortable in this position. If you need to keep your hand on your foot, that's okay, because we want to try and keep the stretch in the right muscles here. And you can move around from side to side, or you can take the pillow underneath the hip just for extra support. Keep moving in your stretch so that you can open up all the muscle fibers and not just one certain area. And then slowly come down onto the elbows if it's available to you. Keep moving from side to side. And then place the hands onto the floor, and we're going to come into our 5 pigeon push-ups, dropping the head down and lifting. So if you can't get the head all the way down, that's okay. Remember, you're just going as far as you can. 3 more. 2 and 1. If you want to stay or you want to move back to the other side, you can do that. But from now, we're going to turn over onto our back. Place the pillow underneath your head. And then bring your right leg up into the chest. And then you're going to move that right knee all the way over your body. Twisting the body as much as possible. Trying to get the knee down to touch the floor. Keep the ribs pulling down towards the hips and try get or round your lower back so that you get a deeper twist into your lower back. Instead of arching and extending, then you're not going to get the rotation in the correct area. You might even feel it a pinching in the hips if you aren't rounding your lower back. And then bring it back up and twist to the other side. Slowly taking the leg over, keeping your shoulder on the ground, so not dropping the knee too low that your shoulder lifts. And then in this position, just working your muscles, pulling the belly button to spine, rounding through the lower back, or tucking in the tailbone to feel a deeper stretch through the glutes here, or even into the lower back. Keep tucking in the tailbone and not extending through the lower back. Keep the left shoulder planted or glued down to the ground. And keep breathing, every exhale going a little bit deeper into the stretch. And then slowly bringing that leg back up, hugging both knees into the chest. And then placing the hands onto the outside of the feet, but the arms are on the inside of the knees, coming into your happy baby. Pushing the knees down into the elbows, into the armpits. And just moving from side to side. Keep trying to reach your tailbone or your sacrum down to the ground. And keep pushing your arms into the knees to push them away from each other. Getting a deeper stretch into the groin and the hamstrings. And then slowly hug the knees back into your chest and roll up into a seated position. Well done for completing our middle core. And next one is the lower core, which is a very difficult one for most people. So I will see you there.